Welcome back to the Child Abuse Prevention Program. In our introductory video, we talked about the prevalence of child sexual abuse and the impact it has on our children, schools, and on our communities. We also extended an invitation for you to join us as we shift our awareness and training focus from abuse at home to abuse at school. So let's get started. When parents send their children to school, they have a reasonable expectation that their children will be safe, which means that we need to understand how to prevent abuse at school, not just report it after the fact. Preventing abuse may seem like a daunting task, but if we focus on the behaviors that are apparent long before a child sexual abuser breaks the law, instead of the abuse itself, it's actually pretty easy to predict when abuse is likely to occur. You see, child sexual abusers use a slow, methodical process called grooming to create relationships that allow them to abuse without getting caught. The good news is that this slow process gives us many opportunities to intercede and remove children from harm's way. To help you better recognize it, let's break this process down into the key objectives that a child sexual abuser must achieve in order to abuse without being caught. First, child sexual abusers have to build trust, not only with children, but with their parents, school administrators, colleagues, and with the community as a whole. Child sexual abusers engage in a lifetime of image management, which one, causes bystanders to dismiss behaviors that seem odd or inappropriate. Two, keeps people from believing any accusations that are brought forth. And three, deters children from telling because they doubt they would be believed. Child sexual abusers who target high school students tend to be emotionally arrested and operate at a teenage level. They have boundary and judgment issues and typically spend a lot of time around groups of students, talking with them, going to the same places, and trying to blend in. They are the teachers who want to be seen as hip and cool. Repeated access is necessary for child sexual abusers to cultivate relationships with their victims. This is why schools are a magnet for abusers. Experts have referred to youth-serving organizations as a well-populated hunting ground. In fact, child sexual abusers who have secured the position of teacher have access to 30 new students or 30 new potential victims each year, sometimes for decades. Child sexual abusers also need to identify the vulnerable by finding voids in a child's life that they can fill. So at-risk children include those whose families have experienced single parenting, illness, violence, death, poverty, addictions, abuse, crime, depression, suicide, or simply lack of time or affection. And once these needs are met by a child sexual abuser, children and even parents struggle to give it up. Child sexual abusers are not only looking to fill a void, they're also looking for adults who will allow them to do it. Adults are often too polite, too shy, or too anxious to tell somebody to leave a child alone. They can also be too impressed by power, status, or money to do the right thing. Child sexual abusers deliberately associate with adults who cannot address these issues and who are easily charmed. Child sexual abusers attempt to isolate kids, first into small groups where they can look for voids and develop more personal relationships. Then they create further opportunities to get children alone, which is when 80% of sexual abuse happens. Examples of physical isolation include before and after school activities, lunches in the classroom, tutoring, rides, weekend get-togethers, and even sleepovers. In addition to physical isolation, child sexual abusers seek to emotionally isolate kids from other trusted adults. They will pit kids against their parents, other teachers, and even friends, moving themselves into position as their best friend and mentor. Child sexual abusers work to desensitize children to touch, but it must be done slowly. An arm around the waist and a hand on the small of the back, an accidental brush against the breast, or a lingering hand on the thigh, a whisper in the ear, and a soft kiss. These encounters proceed slowly and become more frequent. They last longer and portray more intimacy over time. In high school, child sexual abusers leverage teens' longing for intimate, mature relationships. Child sexual abusers will often profess their love for the student and speak of their inability to hold back their feelings, though they know their actions are wrong. We're going to wrap up for now and start again with introducing intimacy in our next video. Each step of this process plays a vital role in child sexual abusers being able to abuse without getting caught. But each step also provides bystanders opportunities to recognize danger and intercede on behalf of a child.